folks, grab a seat and pour your drink neat as Whiskers and Whiskeys presents the holiday special. That's right, the holiday special. It's a special edition episode. We are in the midst of the best season of the year, the most joyous season of the year, bowl season, college bowl season. Obviously, that's what I'm talking about. There could not be any other joyous season to celebrate this time of year. We're here. It's EJ and I. We're joined by some special guests, both recurring guests here. We got Nick with us, we got Jimmy with us, and Chris is here with us in spirit. Unfortunately, we were going to have a party of 5. We still do. Chris sent EJ his big board. He got called into work, or Kate got called into work, unfortunately, so Chris can't make it. But what we will be doing, very, very special episode tonight. We're going to be doing a college football uniform draft. Before we get kicked off, before I go into the rules and all that stuff, fellas, how we doing, man? Co-host EJ, how are you? Where are you, by the way? Are you at home or like?
Yes, I'm in the kitchen. I have family here, so I kind of got kicked out of my basement.
Are those pictures new?
No, they've always been here. It's by our dining room table.
Huh. I guess I don't look at that much. Okay, all right. Shows how observant I am.
Yes, I'm great. I am exhausted from watching the Lions. It's been a long time since we've played meaningful December games, and boy, are they exhausting.
Brand new Lions.
Yes, brand new Lions. How are you guys doing, Jimmy?
I'm good. Just a great weekend of college football and bowl season starting up. It's cool when it's like Friday and it's 11 a.m. and there's a college football game going on somewhere out in the Bahamas or whatever. But won the keg of nails. Got to show off my Louisville. So sorry, Cincinnati, Scott Satterfield. Better luck next year. But I've been good. Good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Doyle, how's South Florida?
South Florida's great. The football, not so much. Since Chris isn't here, I can say that I was very happy to see the Bills beat the Dolphins last night. Very, very nervous. It wasn't how we drew it up or how we hoped. No. It seems like that Dolphins-Bills rivalry is going to be a thing for a little bit. Seems like they're legit. I was hoping they weren't going to be because I wanted us to do the Patriots for the next 20 years. But, it's going to be good football. It's going to be really entertaining for the next, handful of years. I took down my Bills flag to put up holiday stuff, so I'm not getting egged right now. But it's been up all season and people do comment on it. So it's not great. Not ideal. I'm behind enemy lines for sure down here.
But that's awesome though. When you get a big win like that, it feels like Santa is a Bills fan. Cause I feel like that lake effect snow showing up and that literally turned the fourth quarter around. It turned it around for the Bills. Josh just went into a next level whenever it started snowing there. And I love the Bills fans throwing snowballs too. NFL pausing the game. Why? If anything, we should give me snow in Tampa in September. Let's just bring in snow, give all the fans some snowballs, and let's have some fun. That added a layer to the game.
I know, especially after. So I went to the Bills Dolphins game in September, and it was, you might have heard, it was really hot. It's 125 on the Bills sideline. And of course we lost and we were making excuses, and the Dolphins fans were pointing out they were making excuses. And then Mike McDaniel stops the game in the middle of the game to complain to the refs about the Bills fans throwing snowballs at the Dolphins players. And that's just come on, man.
just good, clean fun. When is it? Since when's a snowball fight illegal?
I know. I did it when I was 5. How they're wearing pads and helmets. I never wore
they got pads and helmets.
Yeah. Come on.
The cameraman might be
the alternative to that is getting
getting
dildos thrown at him, right? So that's still reserved for Tom Brady. So they're lucky that didn't happen.
Just such an awesome thing. Just seeing that one dude with the tall boy Miller Lite and just 7 snowballs piled up. That was just awesome. What a time. What a time.
And now I think didn't yesterday start was it 18 straight days of football. I think there's now going to be, I'm pretty sure I saw something that there's now going to just be bowls pretty much every day, even though, they won't necessarily be the greatest ones this week, but then you get towards
football.
Christmas. Yeah.
Football's football,
Yeah.
Right.
And if I were working, I would have it on, but I'm not. So that's fantastic. A nice little paternity leave action. So, I mean, I'm just chilling, man. It's fantastic. Well, it's a great time of year to have a kid. I'll say that. That's for sure. All right.
Yeah. Why don't you tell everyone, all our listeners, what this holiday special is all about?
So we are doing a college football uniform draft. So there are 5 pickers, obviously Chris not being here. It's going to be a 6-round draft. It's going to be your typical snake draft, and you must pick one uniform from each Power 5 conference. So the Big Ten, the Pac-12, the SEC, the ACC. Who did I forget?
Big Ten?
The SEC.
Oh.
Yeah. And then one at-large selection. So it could be, someone not in the conference. It could be someone in the MAC. It could be someone, in the Sun Belt, whatever. And we are selecting based on the best uniform. So this includes the whole kit. So includes home, includes away, includes alternates, and it's only for this current season. So like if you really liked Florida's, pro combat uniforms from 2009, as sick as they were, not eligible to be drafted here. Once a uniform kit is chosen, it's off the board. And we're going to do draft order via number generator. I think that's everything, guys, right? Is there anything I missed there?
I would just say that we are going to have a winner. This is going to be a competition. Yeah. So which person came away with the 6 best uniforms in total. And we're also going to vote. I guess I don't know if I mentioned that to you guys. We're going to vote as well, but you can't vote on yourself. So you're going to have to vote for each other. So we will do that, and we will obviously open up the poll to our listeners, and then we will see who our champion is.
All right, let's do it. EJ, you want to pull up the random number generator here?
Yes, which is a
dice.
Red Soul.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna go with like a number generator online, but you got a Red Solo Cup with dice. All right, Yahtzee.
Well, it's not dice, but it's pieces of paper that I can pull up. All right, so, and I didn't think about this. I kept my mic stand downstairs, so I have to do this one-handed. All right, so with the first pick, right? First.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've done draft. We have Mr. Nicholas Doyle.
Oh, first
Doyle's
overall. First. How you feel? Did you want first? Like, do you feel good about that, or would you rather have picked later, get it on the turn?
So I wanted the first pick, and I'm approaching this. I'm going to tell you my draft strategy. I'm approaching exactly like fantasy football, positions of relative scarcity at the position. Go first, and there are some conferences here that just have unattractive jerseys. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Kind of like blah.
Yeah, yep. There are some conferences there, but I wonder if we'll all agree
on
what
one?
The conference is, right?
Yeah.
All right, so the second pick will be, it will be Chris.
Oh, okay. Well, so he's taking Miami with all 5 picks. So that's there you go.
Yes.
Done.
Doyle, where are you drinking?
I'm super tempted to draft Miami. I'm just I was gonna ask, should we all I assume everyone else is drinking. Otherwise I'm not drinking at all. I'm drinking the Fusion series from Bardstown Bourbon Company.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go 2-bottle, smooth, tasty, delicious.
Awesome.
Neat.
That's fantastic. Neat. All right. I've never had that before. That sounds good.
Highly worth it. It's a $55, $60 bottle.
I can't beat the price.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Up there with like the Widow Janes of the world, but $15 or $20 less expensive.
Yeah. I have a nice Wegman seltzer because I just finished some Mad Elf and I need to be able to speak. So didn't want this to turn into an old oak and bucket situation after that 11%er.
I am drinking a bubbly, but I have to get I have to get a liver test this week, so I can't drink. I have to be dry. So yeah, that kind of
Oh.
sucks.
I'm pretty sure it's a buble.
It's a Buble. Yeah, it's a Michael Buble. Yeah.
Jimmy, you got anything?
Oh, I did not know. I'm drinking water. But I feel bad for Nick now as he said he wouldn't be drinking if nobody else is.
I mean,
yeah, edit for the sound mixer. Drop in line. I'm not drinking anything. I'm just going easy tonight, guys.
No, I wish, believe me,
Yeah.
brother. I wish I could.
All
Wednesday,
right.
we're gonna crack into it. Go ahead.
Number
EJ.
3, Mike.
Okay. All right. I have a top 2, so I'm hoping one of them's gonna be there.
Yeah, well, my first one, there's 0 chance it's gonna be here. That's the problem with doing a draft with your friends, because you're usually like-minded. All right, and then number 4. Wow, this is Jimmy.
Oh, so
then
you get back to back. Dang.
That puts me last. But
Back
yes,
to
I do
back.
get.
All
I
right.
do get 2 picks in a row. There you go.
All right.
And a number generator.
Very nice. Very nice. Low tech. Can't get hacked. I like it.
Yes.
All right. I'm nervous. I'm like really nervous. Let's all right, get the big board up, EJ.
Yes. Hold on 1 second. I was just
While you're doing that, I kind of thought it would be hilarious if I wanted to text you guys in the group chat. I want to be like, now tell me everybody's least favorite uniform at the end.
Let's do that at the end.
Let's
do that at the end. I'm
so
down
Jimmy,
with that.
I literally have written down a couple of questions, and one of that was going to be which conference did you guys like the most, the least, and then which jerseys did you like the most, the least? You're just on this, Jimmy.
I feel like you talk about friends being like-minded. I guess that's
There you go.
Okay. What's there? I'm just reorganizing the
I got
names on
thinking
this
about
list.
that. Which one I like.
I was definitely, as I was going through this, kind of like similar to what Doyle said, there was definitely conferences. Once I got to them, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Guess I just never thought about it. And I
Yeah.
was, kind of surprised. But
Yeah.
all right. So yeah, here we go. You guys
Nice.
see my my board
Solid
here?
picture.
Got it.
Solid picture of Kelly in the background there.
Oh yeah, it's our anniversary picture. Woo! It was us jumping on the beach in St. Lucia. Okay.
Do you remember
Doyle.
the old oh my god show with
The Man Show. Girls
The Man
jumping on
Show.
trampolines. That's what I was thinking. Yes.
You're right there. You're right
I
there,
mean,
Mike Hill.
Yeah. Friends thinking alike. Yeah. I was right there with you.
You got that right away. That was
I mean, I love the Man Show.
You remember the
That
show?
was-
Oh man, the show. Yeah, right there.
Okay. So Doyle,
We
what do we
doing it?
got? What's one
So
first overall?
I tipped my strategy already, and there are a couple conferences here with total stinkers, and I think the king of the nondescript, just kind of jerseys is the Pac-12 for me.
Okay.
Oh.
And of the Pac-12, I mean, they might just be number 1 overall anyway, but it's the Oregon Ducks, right? I mean,
Sure.
their partnership with Nike has been, incredible. They have a different jersey basically every week. They're all awesome.
Mhm.
They're all, I mean, there's what do you need to say about the Oregon Ducks jerseys? They're what people know about the program, basically.
Yep. Great recruiting tool. The fact that they never repeat colors is awesome. And they have like everything all over the board. Like they've got like their basic kit. It's, like kind of like a futuristic duck. Like the feathers look like a little bit lethal and everything. But when they throw it back and they got like the old school duck logo on those bright green uniforms with the bright yellow too, I like that as well. I think that's a great pick. Like Oregon was high on my board. They weren't one of my top 2, but I think it's definitely worthy of being a first round pick because of the just the whole slate that they have. I will say though, the one downside to Oregon is that they do have some stinkers thrown in there. Like there's some that there's some combinations that they have that I don't like. Like they did like a real dark green one. That I'm not crazy about. I'm not crazy about their breast cancer awareness one either, like the pink and black. Like that's a little bit too much for me. But overall, I think it's a really strong pick. It's like you said, it's why it's a great recruiting tool. Just having Nike, just firing up new uniforms every week.
Yeah,
Well,
quickly, I found a Pac-12 like jerseys for every week link, which was nice. But they called in one of the weeks they had one that was the repeat of their eggshells, and people say AKA cookies or cream or bird poop uniform.
Yeah, that one's not too great either. Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, as I was doing the Oregon, like as I was doing this, and I was, thinking through Oregon, obviously was in my top 5 for the Pac-12. We gave the challenge of only using like jerseys from this year, right? But with them, it's just they're the OG like best uniform, right? Like you have your classics that are just the classics, but as far as the new age, new era jerseys, like you can't even, I couldn't even tell you like what their normal jersey is, because they almost don't have one anymore.
I think it's the black and the green. Like this year, like the black, which is it's a fire fit, and the white and the green too is like really good. But yeah, that's a great pick.
Yeah, and occasionally they do have stinkers, but when you fly close to the sun, sometimes your wings melt.
Fair.
Okay, Chris, second overall. This is going to shock you guys. But his auto draft for second overall is none other than the U.
Shocker.
Because it is all about the U. And right, I know. And with that, why don't I just in Chris's honor here, just show you this is the jerseys that they wore this year. So I think you just really have this classic green and white pants combo with the white helmet, and it's just it's classic.
They wear the orange more though, right? Do they wear the orange more? Do they wear the I thought they wear the orange the most.
Okay.
They wear the orange the most.
Yeah. Now it's those Vice City ones, City ones, they're glow in the dark. Those are kind of bad.
Yeah.
Like, that's a pretty nice little alternate. And like, but you're right.
But they never wanted to wear them. They want the coach this year. He's a former guy. He wanted to stick to the classics. So even though Adidas made them that great jersey, they never wore it.
Well, and you know what? You make a good point too. It's an Adidas jersey. Like, there's something to me about like the brand of a jersey, and like Nike is just like Adidas doesn't really have a place in football for me. I'm sorry if that offends, but like, I'm just not a fan. Am I wrong? Are you guys on the same page there? Or
about Adidas?
Yeah.
Well, the Ville is all Adidas.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry if that offends.
That's gonna be
more of a basketball thing.
I was gonna say the Adidas came from Patino doing his nice little deals with he probably threw some service girls at some of the Adidas people as well. So
I thought we got all that out in the last time I was on.
I just saw another picture of Patino and his kid. It reminded me recently. I don't know why people showed it. I don't know if his son got a new job or something, but yeah. All right. So that was Chris's pick there. Classic Miami. And honestly, second overall, I know it's high, but I think overall Miami's probably one of the better jerseys in the ACC.
It's a classic. Yeah. The U is awesome. I mean, that's something you see replicate all the time. So, I mean, it's on high school uniforms, so it's a classic. So
yeah. And you talk about the helmet logo, of course, is just the U, but the school's actual logo, the ibis, is just the Fighting Ibis is awesome.
Yeah. Underappreciated bird for sure.
Sure.
Definitely.
And a useful one, right? They signal hurricanes.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. This is going to be interesting. I'm really curious to see where your head's at, because I feel like you have some like ones close to your heart, but I don't know that they're going to be around for your second pick. So
right. Well, so I'm actually a little bit torn here, because there's one conference that I think is weaker. So I have two picks that I would love to take. Like top 2, if I get those, I'll be super happy. There's one where the conference, like the rest of the jerseys, it's weaker, So I kind of want to take that. But then the other one is just like so close to my heart. And I think such a classic that, hook 'em, baby. I got to go Texas. Like
Wow.
I really like the subtle changes that they made this year with the big Texas across the breastplate. Obviously, the Longhorn logo is fantastic. It's an orange you can sit with, most importantly, unlike no tipping picks, but another school, very gaudy colors. So I love Texas is just classic, whether it's the all whites aways or whether it's the burnt orange home. They don't really have an alternate uniform, but like for me, that's okay. And, I think it's a classic. I love the big numbers too, on the helmet, and I like just the font of Texas, I think is really strong on their uniforms. Yeah, man, I love Texas. I think it's a classic. I'll say I did have trouble because I think that the Big 12 is a pretty solid conference. There's a couple other jerseys that I like in there, or uniforms that I like in there, but I couldn't pass it up. It's a classic. I had to take it.
Yeah, this is why you don't do this with your friends, because they were number one on my board as well. And I knew that if I didn't draft ahead of you, that that there was no chance they were going to be there.
Yeah.
Very, very classic. Like you said, those oranges are an orange you can sit with, because there's definitely some of these colors that some schools do way better than others. And that's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy, your first selection. What do we got here?
Well, I'm just so happy and blessed to be at number 4 and get my 1-1 overall.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things that you guys are saying. I have some themes to some of my ideas for picks, and I like that you covered history in your first one, Mike. I think that's a solid theme. I do think Texas is a good pick too. I really thought you were going to take this one. I do think this is maybe one of the strongest conferences, but 1-1 overall. Give me your rivals, Tennessee Vols. I love the black. I love the black jersey alternates. The black orange is probably one of the best jerseys in college football. They also came out with their smoke grays this year.
Yeah.
So they were 2 alternates that I think are like just it. I mean, orange, like you said, it's a bright popping color, but to me, I'm not, no ties for me at all. That's just my favorite uniform. And then they got it's a little classic too, but I'm sorry I had to take that. I hope that doesn't hurt you too bad, but
it's not an orange that you can sit with, but that's your pick if you can sit. But honestly, no, I mean, I think you're right. It is a classic uniform. The blacks and the smoke grays that they came out with this year are like incredible. I know EJ, you'll probably have something to say about the all blacks. You love those.
And those were very, very nice.
Yeah. And the tee. Like just the tee, it's a strong tee, like it really does look good. So I think that's a good pick, Jimmy. I would have never taken it just because objectively is a good uniform. Sure. But like, in my heart, I never could have done it, but I think
okay. Yeah. I thought you mentioned that orange. I thought that's what you were going at with there, but I wasn't sure whether you pick them or not.
No, it's the orange you can't sit with. That Tennessee orange to me is I don't know if you ever saw that viral video of the guy about why he hates Tennessee.
No.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
I'm going to send it to you now in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
He goes off. He's an Alabama fan, and it's tell me why you hate Tennessee. And classic.
Okay.
Here we go. I'll send it.
But EJ, I also did this one because I'm trying to get a read on your draft, and I figured I'm gonna get a good idea based off of your next 2 picks, which will help me with my second pick. So just trying to read the room a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
This is tough for me because
you like stop you guys sharing, by the way.
I'm well aware because I'm intentionally looking at my board because now I have to, because Texas was there, and Tennessee was there.
You can just share one window.
Yeah, but then that's fine. You guys don't need to see my thoughts right now.
And I just hate them because they low down, they dirty, they some snitches. And I hate Philophone. I hate their colors. I'm not a dog person. I just hate Tennessee, man. Like, and I hate Neyland Stadium. Looks like a garbage truck, working convention. And I hate all their quarterbacks. I hate Tennessee, man. It reminds me, it's not that orange that you can stand. See, I hate Tennessee more than I hate Auburn. I just dislike Auburn. I hate Tennessee. See, Tennessee's colors is that throw up orange. It's not that orange that you can sit with. It's that puke inside of a pumpkin orange.
Inside of a pumpkin.
Pumpkins.
And I like pumpkins.
Oh, sorry, I had to hear that. I thought you guys wanted to hear
it's good. I watch it every year on the third Saturday in October, and sometimes other days too. And this is good. You gave EJ some time because he's taking forever with his picks here.
This is tough. This is like, now I'm really thinking like, which ones am I?
It's your first pick.
I have back to back though, and I'm not going to pick for a long time. So I have to be willing to accept my third or fourth option in some of these conferences moving forward. So I got to decide which ones I really love and which ones I can live without. That's all. Twinkle, twinkle, baby. All right.
Twinkle, twinkle.
All right. I will start off with this one. This one is might surprise. Actually, I think my two picks probably are going to surprise you guys, and maybe that'll be a good differentiator for the fans here. But I think there is one color for me overall that is it's a very icky color, but there's one school that just, I don't know, they just do it for me. And I'm really shocked as I did this because it definitely wasn't a school that I thought about with this kind of jersey. Like when I was going through this, it was never thought would be very high, but it definitely is. So I am going to share my screen now.
Oh,
I was looking at them.
That was my second overall pick. That was my second. That was, if I didn't get Texas, I was going TCU in the Big 12. Yeah,
I am. As you can see, my other
Big 12 team.
My other ones here were Texas, and I really loved Kansas. The Kansas was going to be a third if I needed it.
Don't tip picks. Don't tip picks.
Well, I'm already done with the Big 12, though.
Well, but someone else, the Big 12's open for other people. So
that's fine. Yeah, so I love the Horned Frogs here. I think purple is generally a color I don't like, but for whatever reason, I just love, not necessarily when they go all grape, but they're normal ones that have the purple and the black. I love the Horned Frog helmets that they have, and I love the diamonds like around their collars. It almost reminds me of like the Black Panther necklace, like the Wakanda necklace for the Black Panther.
The whites I like too. The whites are really strong.
The whites are strong. The TCU, just like the lettering is good on their helmets, along with the actual frog version. And then they have their specialty jerseys this year.
The blood reds. Yeah.
The blood reds, because some Horned Frogs spit red blood out, and that is why. So I was looking.
You got a picture of that one?
Yes. So that's why.
I could send you a link, EJ. There's a special article for it.
Yeah, you sent it to me, and I had it.
Oh, if you the site is called Uniswag, UNI swag. If you just search Uniswag, there TCU Black.
I was gonna say I had it up earlier.
Yeah, it's so sick. Oh wait, no, this is just the blackout. It's not the
bloods. So the blood
they
ones,
they had the blood ones on there too.
Are like a gray. Well, I'll look for it and I'll show you guys later. But they do have a pretty cool blood red one as well, which is something. So yeah, so I like the Horned Frogs here. Like I said, I was very surprised that I thought I'd like them.
No, yeah, it's a really strong pick. The blood reds are great because they like on the face mask too. It's got that blood red. So yeah, it was my second in the conference. It's a strong pick.
So my next one here is probably going to surprise you guys. Maybe not. Maybe.
Ooh.
I surprised myself again when I really enjoyed these jerseys, and it's tough because I really like my top two from this conference. But when you think of a jersey, this is not typically a football school, but when you have a color named after you, you have one color. So this color is forever. There's no like, oh, this is a nickname for this color. It is just a color that is so synonymous with sports. Down in Tobacco Road, I'm taking North Carolina. There is something about the Carolina Blues that just, for me, like when you combination the Carolina blue with the white, you have the alternates that they had this year. So you can see they have like a darker blue and even like a Carolina blue with the darker blue accents. There's just something. It's not flashy. It has the Jordan symbol on there. But there's, again, just something about the designs on the collars and the pants that just work for me. I really loved the Tar Heels here.
So I mean I like the jump man. I like the color. The little plaid diamond thing that's not for me. I don't like it. I think that it's obviously a great color scheme. It's very popular. Looks good on a hat. For me, I mean, I think you could have got them a little bit later. I think it was a bit of a reach here in the second round. I don't know, maybe Jimmy Doyle, do you guys love UNC? Like, was that on your big board, or do you think? For me, it's a reach for me.
I tend to fall in love with North Carolina blue as well. The thing is, I like their jerseys a lot. I'm not like a huge fan of their alternates this year as much. Like, I don't know, that far left one, the box numbers.
Yeah.
I really like their regular jerseys. I think they're definitely top 3 for me in the ACC. But yeah, I do go where EJ goes, where it's like a color. Like that's what you think of when you see that color, and it's just North Carolina for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I had them too in the conference. And for all the same reasons that EJ said, that color is synonymous with the school. I like the Argyle pattern a little more than Mike does. I mean, it's all just part of the package since MJ, really. I mean, you see that, you think of the school. It is a basketball school, but the football team's starting to come along a little bit in the last couple of years.
I think there's just some football uniforms that are more worthy of a second round pick, the first pick in the second round.
Hey man, that's just that you can, at the end of the day, anyone's just gonna see who my 6 are, right? Like, there, honestly, it just came down to, there are conferences, as you're obviously seeing the other 3, where my 1 through 3 were very close, where I feel pretty confident that when it comes to my 4th and 5th pick, I'm not going to be upset about it.
Yeah.
The ACC was one of those after my top 2. And Miami wasn't even in my top 2. They were my 3rd. I would have probably been about it, to be honest, about my selections after that. So yeah, you're right. It's probably maybe a little too rich for some people's blood, but that's where I went. Jimmy, what is your second pick?
All right. It's kind of like we're not back on for a while after this.
I know, right?
It's man, I'm between 2 and I'm trying to decide when I'm going to pull the trigger, but I'm doing this for the people. I think it's a little early. I'm going to see. Well, no, I don't think it's a little early, but I think, you have a lot of options with this category, but I'm going to go, I told you I have categories. This one is straight tradition. This is class. This is touchdown Jesus. This is Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
First at large off the board.
I'm going to take the classic unis. Their alternates this year, the all white.
Yeah.
With the cathedral and the shoulder pads. I think that looked real good, and I think that hits. I wanted, again, I got you some flash, some like one of the hottest black orange jersey you've ever seen in my first pick. This one I'm going tradition and history. Give me Notre Dame Fighting Irish, classics.
I mean, the golden helmet, it speaks for itself. It's a classic
It's
uniform.
football.
And the alternates this year, I think, make the pick that much stronger because I hate Notre Dame, but I love those. I love those all whites. And I mean, I don't like Notre Dame, but like the uniforms are just, I mean, it's a classic. And these alternates are way better than the leprechaun green ones. Like this is just, it's so clean.
I agree. I think if they still had the leprechaun green as the alternate, maybe not so much for me, but this is just the gold and the white, and then like you said, the golden domer helmet. It's college football to me. So like if I'm gonna pick a jersey that's college football, that's probably one of the first ones I think of. So
I mean, that one's just like a classic. Growing up in Michigan, like most people's second school was Notre Dame. Like I remember growing up and Notre Dame was like on par with Michigan State. And as I got older and watched more of the games, and obviously Michigan State and Notre Dame have a trophy together. Shout out Megaphone. So I learned to hate them more and more, but it's like, it's very, very, very popular. And it's just, like you said, it's classic. When you juxtapose that with the U, right, your Catholics versus convicts. So it's, great selection there.
Thank you.
No, Notre Dame was one of my favorites, and they're high on my board. But for, my draft strategy of drafting and in positions of rarity, with the at-large, you can go basically wherever.
When you were saying your draft strategy, I was like, that's like you didn't get in my head, but that was like where my cipher was. I was like, oh, that's a pretty good draft strategy. But I'm like a guy, I've got like, I'm the Detroit Lions, 15 years ago. I already got good wide receivers. I'll still draft the top wide receiver. That's
we love him. Matt Millen loved him some wide receivers, man.
No, I mean the Notre Dame jerseys are iconic. It's half the fun of watching Rudy is just getting to see those jerseys for 2 hours straight.
For sure. All right, Mike, what's your next pick here?
I'm thrilled because I got my number 2 pick. I'm really excited about it. And again, going with the theme of like a position of rarity for me, I think the ACC is one of the weaker conferences. I didn't have UNC on my board. Miami was like, I think number 4, but for me, just a classic uniform. This program's down right now, but they're a perennial powerhouse. Florida State. I love the gold. I love the red. Like it's such a good combination. The tomahawk on the side of the helmet is fantastic, or the spear on the side of the helmet, and then the tomahawk spirit stickers. I think this is the first one that we have on the board with spirit stickers. And there's nothing like watching Florida State in like a meaningful bowl game at the end when they've got just the helmet's just full of those tomahawks. Oh man, it makes the jersey look so much better. And I love some of the things that they did this year with it. Like, or I don't know if they did it this year or did it recently, but whenever they did it, but some of the details on the shoulders, like that, those lines there, I really like that. And then the blacks are the black jersey is just awesome. But like for me, like the all white's cool, the black jersey is awesome, but that classic home jersey with the red with the gold helmet, like it pops for me. And when you get all those spirit stickers on there, I mean it looks fierce, dude. So I'm thrilled to get my top 2 picks.
Mike, I was between Florida State or Notre Dame, and I figured that was coming off soon. So I like the pick too. I think of Bobby Bowden.
Yeah, exactly.
On those sidelines.
Yeah.
I think of Jameis Winston, so that's with the crab legs. No, I had Florida State really high on my board. They were my next ACC team. Love the colors, that red and the gold. A lot of schools have that. BC comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
as having a similar color scheme, but Florida State just does it better. I don't know what it is about them that makes them better, but they just are.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was actually considering BC as a backup, but like when we talk about worst jerseys, BC might be on the list because it's like just not. It's kind of plain compared to Florida State. So
it's not kind of plain; it's super plain.
Super plain.
You could just call a spade a spade. No, Florida State was definitely on my list. I don't know. There's just something about them. I think this was one of those jerseys where like I just don't like Florida State in general. And I think that probably bled into like, and it shouldn't have, right? This has nothing to do with like
it did with
actual playing football.
So
there's just something about Florida
it.
State that I just don't like. But it's hard to argue your points here on why their jerseys look sweet.
Man,
all right. So Chris's next pick here. This is fun. He's going at large. And I don't have the logo here, so I'm just going to have to build it up here. This is probably someone that is on Mike's list. They have to be on Mike's at large list. But when you have a school that has a color that's so unique, I don't even know if there's another Power 5 or like a Division I school that uses teal as their number one jersey. But the fact that the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers put a cock on their helmet is all you need to know, right? But that's it. So Chris's pick, his second pick is Coastal Carolina.
It was on my at-large list. Again, it's probably not a great pick just because of the positional rare. Like I think he could have got them later, but like. I mean, my gosh, they're all blacks. Like the teals are great, but like the all blacks are incredible. So yeah, I mean, awesome. It's funny too. Because
that's what did it for him. Sorry, in the notes that he sent me was
all blacks.
Was the all blacks. Yeah, that was really what tipped it over.
Yeah. Doyle, Jimmy, what do you guys think about the Chanticleers?
I just think, it's like I think their success kind of also adds to the element of the jersey being better, because if they were like consistently like crappy, it would be like okay, but no, like it's a rare color, like you said. Did you have a picture of the all blacks again on there?
We can pull it up here. You can pull it up, try and find it. We'll fill some airtime while you're looking for that.
But I think the fact that they're an up and coming rising program, that makes it even better. But Nick, you had anything on that?
Sorry, as I also do in fantasy football, I was frantically researching my next pick. So I kind of agree with Mike. Poor value pick for me from the auto draft computer. That's not really surprising that you get a bad value like that. But Coastal Carolina was not a team I even remembered existing until Chris said it. So I do like the color scheme now that I'm remembering them. Having a cock on the logo on the helmet is also just great. And I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing them in March Madness again this year, which is when I really think about them as in March Madness, and really just after last year.
Well, what was it last year or 2 years ago where they had Mormons versus Mullets, that game, and they wore the all blacks at home? It was against BYU. So
that was a great theme game.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you, Jay. Yeah, I see them now. I kind of also like I really didn't want to take an at-large so early, but I thought Notre Dame.
But it's Notre Dame. Yeah, I mean that's if that's the thing. I feel like if you're gonna take an at-large school, Notre Dame's the one. Like because other one, like I have a bunch of at-large schools because I'm like I don't even know which one I'm gonna pick yet because I'm like, well, there's so many out there that I like, But yeah. Notre Dame was on my at-large list, though. I was like, well, if it sticks around, I might snag it. But
yeah, I'm sure that I'm sure that Peyton Manning was on the Denver Broncos list, whoever won the Super Bowl in '98. You know, just in case Peyton fell for some reason, right?
All right, Doyle, what's your next pick?
So we're done vamping.
And you're
Oh,
back
boy.
to back, man.
I know.
Yeah,
Do you
see,
need a second?
Okay,
these guys in the middle don't know the pressure of like having to think twice, right? You're like, and then the fact that you're getting, you're weaker, but last two, right? Like weaker.
Yeah. Okay. So going with the strategy, I'm gonna take it. I really don't love the Big 12's logo or jerseys either. I think they're gonna be my next pick, and I think it's gonna be the Cowboys, Oklahoma State.
Okay.
I think they're a subdued orange. I don't mind the orange.
You
I like
can
the
sit
logo.
with it.
I could sit with that orange. I like the logo. I also like what they do with it. It's not always the orange. They have a nice gray jersey. I don't know if they wore it this year, so that might not count. But I'm thinking of their gray and orange jersey.
Yeah.
This year against Oklahoma, they had a nice script helmet with the Cowboys spelled out.
Oh yeah, I
I
forgot about that. That is nice.
Yeah, that doesn't always look good. I'm thinking of Michigan State, but in Oklahoma State's case, I think they did it pretty well.
I add something for you on that. I thought this was going to be able to be a sleeper for me. I did a lot of research on them because I liked it too. One of my favorite parts about their jersey, and I know this isn't like fan friendly because nobody can really see this, but on one of their jerseys on like where your label the size of your shirt is in the in the inside on the back, it says pistols firing in quotes in one.
No way.
That was badass. Yeah, I don't know if you can find that, EJ, but I thought the pistols firing was
well
badass.
Jimmy, we'll so when we upload these now on Spotify, you can actually watch it, and we'll throw this on YouTube too. So yeah, EJ, if you can find it, because I have some stuff to say about Oklahoma State too. Like, first off, I did not know they had that pistols firing. That's fantastic. Oklahoma State, I think, is a great pick. Whether it's the blacks, the whites, like I was orange and black in high school, so I have an affinity for that. But like, I think it's just a really strong, the grays are good too. It's strong. The Cowboy script, I forgot about that too, man. Like, it's just, they look really good. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy here. You guys let me know. But like, there's some teams that like, when they're home and the stadium is rocking and like the team's playing meaningful football, like the jersey just looks better. And like for me, like Oklahoma State's one of those teams. Like they're perfect for the Pac-12. Like they're the freaking Cowboys. They shoot. Like just total like crazy shootout games. Like they personify it for me. So yeah. Pistols firing, EJ.
EJ, look at the link that I sent you in the chat, and I got there you go.
See. Let's see. Will this show me?
But the other thing that's cool about it too, like while he's looking this up, is the combinations they have are like, I mean, they have a white, black, and an orange helmet. So like they can just switch that up, which is pretty cool to have 3 helmets that all look pretty good. Click view gallery. And I also right there. I thought that was so badass when I saw that. I'm sorry for cussing.
That's mean. No, go ahead. Fuck it.
Yeah, the design there. Like, I didn't realize how intricate
the little
it was.
star, the little cowboy star. Oh man,
this site is like, they should promote this more often because it makes their
those are little go up. There's like little bullet shells, like bullet casings on the. Oh man,
right there.
Yeah, it's got a lot of intricate detail around the collar too, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, so that's a good pick, Nick. I thought that was gonna maybe be a sleeper.
Yeah.
But these guys were definitely on my list. I'm a sucker for orange, and I think that I don't even know. I mean, I haven't been paying too close attention to them until, really this podcast started a couple of years ago. But I feel like and Jimmy, you talked about this, their variation and their options is way more than you'd expect out of a school like this, right? Like they have a lot of good white, black, orange options, and they have great like alternate logos with the cowboy. It's not just like the OSU or the script as Doyle talked about. So no, I think it's a great pick. It was definitely on my list. And I love these even more that they have a sheriff's badge on them. Like that's awesome.
That's pretty cool. So let's go back to the big board. So we're through 2 rounds here. So we've got 3 from the ACC, 3 from the Big 12, 1 from the Pac, 1 from the SEC. Big 10 not touched yet, which is surprising. And also 2 at large. I mean, Notre Dame going early, I definitely understand that. I didn't think we'd get 2 at larges this early. So, all right, start of the 3rd round. Nick, did I kill enough time for you to do more research?
Yeah, I really appreciated Jimmy talking about the pistols firing. I wasn't even aware of that. I don't even know if we need to continue drafting because that's just so awesome. But for posterity, we shall go on. You might notice that I'm hitting on the O teams really good.
Yeah,
so far, and I'm going to continue that with this pick. It's going to be Ole Miss.
Oh,
out of the SEC. I'm continuing with the scripts. Also, they've got good colors in that like lightish blue kind of color. On one of the jerseys, the other jersey, it was a darker blue with a nice bold red, just American all the way. School named Ole Miss, kind of love that also. I think they're kind of an unheralded jersey because they really haven't been all that hot lately, the football team. But I think these jerseys, they're pretty sweet. And I didn't really think about Ole Miss. I didn't watch a lot of football from Ole Miss lately until last year. I saw a couple of games with their quarterback who got drafted. I'm blanking on his name. But I noticed that the quarterback looked good.
Ritter, or not Ritter. What's the other? Matt Corral?
No. Yeah,
Chad
Corral.
Kelly's son?
Yeah.
No, not Kelly.
I said the quarterback looks good, but those jerseys look even better, and that's where we're going. Ole Miss.
I mean, Mike's gonna disagree with me here, but they're the best jerseys in the SEC. I mean, they're no,
beautiful. they were top of my SEC.
Those battle blues. I mean, they're just sip time. And Doyle, you snaked Chris's picks. That's what was next on his board. So.
Yeah, no, great pick. They were my top ranked SEC school.
Debatable.
Right. The battle blues are classic. You also got that. It's a better use of Carolina blue than Carolina uses, in my opinion. So, I love the script too. I'm a sucker for script on jerseys. So great pick.
All right. So with Chris's pick, he's had a couple come off the board here for him. So a few of these picks have already been taken here. So the next one, we are going to finally delve in to the Big Ten, and he is going to go with a classic. I don't know, maybe because I had their helmets in high school and I hate their living guts, so they don't do it for me. But he loves the winged helmets. His next pick is Michigan. I mean, the colors are fine in my case. Blue, just call it yellow. It's yellow. It's not maize. But the winged helmet is iconic. It's unique. But barf. Someone else.
It's definitely an iconic helmet. The winged helmet's duplicated by high schools across the nation, and when you look at it, you think it's the Michigan helmet. It's a classic jersey. The Jumpman logo also on the jersey, I think it makes it even cooler. It's a really good pick.
I think it's weird because some jerseys kind of you don't want to tie it into like the atmosphere, but like, I just, when I think of that, I just think of the big house, obviously. And I know makes you sick, EJ, but yeah, I think the M is just very classic in itself. You're talking about the T in Tennessee. I'm not even from that area, and I remember in middle school I could choose one like pillow logo to sew in my home ec class, and I was like, that M is pretty nice, so I picked that without even knowing who I was cheering for at the time.
No, Michigan's jerseys are iconic. They were number one on my Big Ten list. I think it's a testament to Big Ten jerseys that no one's picked them yet, because I think they're just super deep. You can't go wrong with the Big Ten team. But the maize jersey, I don't understand. Maize is corn. Why is it blue also? Like, for a long time, I thought the maize was referring to the yellow in Michigan, and I came to find out that it was not. It's the blue, and I was just like, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, maize is corn.
Yeah.
So that's a minus for them, but we can forgive them for that, just because the helmet's iconic, jersey is iconic. It's Notre Dame, except not Catholic, so it's perfect.
I'm just picturing Jimmy, like, after he logs off from this, just heading over to like the sewing machine, just getting some work done, just doing something like that.
Keep it down, Marin.
Doing my knitting.
I opened up too much on this podcast.
All right, Mike, what's your next pick here?
Well, there's one that I really want, that I'm kind of surprised is still on the board. However, that conference is a little deeper for me. Like, I did not expect this team to be here. However, there's another one where the conference is deeper, so I feel like
I love that lead up. So you just said, I'm surprised this school is still on the board, but I'm going to leave them there.
Well, because the conference itself is deeper, right? Like, that's like, I didn't even pick them because I had Florida State and Texas, and I'm like, okay, if I get my first, I didn't think this other school would be here, but the conference is deeper, so I'm gonna leave that team there, and just maybe they'll come back around to me. But the one that I want from a conference that I don't feel is deep, I talked about, like red and gold, I think is a classic combination. Fight on. Give me USC, give me the Trojans. Like, again, classic combination. Love the red and yellow. To me, is like one of the best jersey combos, that like color combos that you can get. Like, I'm also, like I said, partial to black and orange, but that's classic. And the Trojan logo is really strong. I think that the uniform itself is just very classic. Like, that red pops, and kind of like I said with Oklahoma State, like USC playing in the Coliseum or playing in the Rose Bowl, like, those uniforms just look like they were like made custom for it. So give me Southern Cal.
Yeah, I mean, I like it too, because we talk about like our picks for being classic. One thing is, you'll never really get an alternate with them, so I don't know if that if you're like a classic, like, give me the same uniform kind of guy. I like, clearly with my number one pick, I like alternates, so that's the only thing that doesn't make me put them like right away take them. But that's
if you look at like my board, like, I just don't have any alternates. Like, I mean, Florida State with the blacks, that's obviously awesome, but like, I'm thinking classics, so that's my theme, I guess, of my draft is just classic
man.
That's me.
Yep, I had USC really high up. You think about the run with Pete Carroll, going back into the thousands, with Carson Palmer wearing that jersey and Reggie Bush wearing that jersey. It is just iconic. They've got Trojan Man. I mean, it's just great jersey.
Yeah, so I had them higher. I had them higher in the Pac-12 as well, like higher in the Pac-12, obviously, and then higher overall. The color combo, you just can't go wrong. The logo is a fantastic logo. The jersey's basic, but the colors make up for it, right? Like, it doesn't need to be anything. The only thing that I'm not a super fan of and maybe it's because the colors are so great, but like the whites jerseys are just kind of okay. Like you see the simplicity and they don't look nearly as nice, but the homes more than make up for that. Right. Like they're just fantastic.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Jimmy.
All right. Well, I think I may be choosing what you were talking about, Mike. When you were going over that, I was listening and I thought you were going to pick it. Maybe picking the wrong team, but I assume you're talking about the Big Ten. And one thing that you mentioned that I also love, which I don't have these in my other jerseys. So, I got my classic tradition, Notre Dame. I got my flashy smoke gray, my black. Now I want something that I think is like a cool team, iconic. I think the logo stickers are awesome, right? I think that's huge. And I'm going, I can already see you shaking. I'm going scarlet and gray. Yeah, I'm going Ohio State. I think the helmet sticker for that's how I that's one of the top teams I think of with helmet stickers. You're a baller when your whole helmet is like, do you even have space for another sticker on there? They have also an alternate black uniform that they wore this year at night. I believe I have it in my notes. And I think that black uniform, again, I love at least one alternate, and I think that their black uniform is very, very good. I did not write it in my notes, dang it. But just another classic team. I see EJ, was not necessarily as happy about that, but the tradition of the helmet sticker, the sparkly, gray coming off of that, and I also believe they have a matte colored helmet too, which I'm a fan of any matte colored anything. So
Ohio State was the one. That was the one that that's a great pick, Jimmy. I mean, it was really tough for me to go to leave them there, but like I really wanted the Trojans, so that's fantastic. I had a tough time. You're actually making me regret taking the Trojans. Maybe thinking like, could I have got them? Like, were they gonna come back around to me? So that's
I was reading EJ to see if he was going to go Big Ten early. So he didn't pick his Big Ten in his first two picks. So I was like, all right, let me go get Notre Dame and see if I can, no Big Ten yet. I hope I can get Ohio State on the way back. But it was against, I got it down here now. It was against Wisconsin on September 24th. Their color rush. It was black with the red number, black pants, red stripe down the side. It looks good.
I will say I like their classics more than I like their alternates, just because like it's hard for me to view them as anything else other than scarlet and gray. So, but that's because it's such a classic pick. So it's not a knock on. That's a great pick.
Thank you, EJ. What do you think about it?
I hate Ohio State. They weren't on my board. I don't know. I'm not, and maybe this is just because Michigan State doesn't do it, but stickers, spirit stickers don't do it for me. I hate the Buckeyes. Scarlet, they're another school that it's just like it's red, like it's not scarlet and silver, or it's like as soon as they heard that Michigan was blue and maize, they had to make up their own color as well. So to join, but it's a classic. Like their color, like you said, their colors don't change. They have similar jerseys for a huge program that's always in the national spotlight, and that just tells you how classic they are, that they don't feel the need to do anything beside the occasional alternate, which is typically just the black one. So I guess that's all I'm gonna say about that. So you have any thoughts before I or while I pick
two
my
guys
next
just
teams?
researching?
Yeah, I'll give you some time to vamp as well. Us bookends have to look out for each other in the draft. Ohio State, I had the number 2 in the Big Ten, but I think as I think I'll touch on a little bit. I think the Big Ten's got a pretty deep conference in terms of jersey talent. I did have them so high also because I think the spirit sticker is iconic in that one with the Buckeye. Didn't know what a Buckeye was for a long time, so when I saw it, it finally clicked for me. You got so much pageantry. I think it's interesting what we all consider to be like the classic logo is inherently also tied to how good the football team was, like traditionally.
Yeah.
And with the Ohio State jersey, you think of Aggie, the Jim Tressel years, everyone that's worn that jersey, and it's been in a bunch of big primetime games. So we've all had a lot of exposure to it, even like pre-internet for some of us that are old enough to remember pre-internet times. I still remember having exposure to the Ohio State jersey just because it was on SportsCenter like every week.
Yeah.
So it's classic jersey, classic helmet, very very classic, plain silver, full of spirit stickers. I think it's a good pick. Not sure the value is really there for where we are in the draft. I think.
I think there's a ton of value there.
No one has Big Ten yet, so you gotta jump on it early.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of value there. I think that's a great.
I take that back. You're right. That's a great pick because I think we've started the Big Ten run.
Yeah.
EJ is going to probably continue it and leave me with the scraps of the Big Ten. I'll be drafting the
don't tip picks.
Oh
don't you just don't tip picks.
No, I'm not tipping picks. I was gonna say I'm drafting like the
the Brock Purdy. You're gonna draft the Brock Purdy. Yeah, there
he ain't sexy, but he's awfully Purdy.
Yeah.
I'm drafting the Trey Lance of the Big Ten because this happened to me in fantasy like 4 times this year, where there'd be a huge quarterback, and I was like, okay, I've got Trey Lance who has the upside, or like Dak Prescott, who's like so known that it's like, let's just go with the risk. So I've got the Trey Lance of the Big Ten coming up here.
I'm also a 49ers fan, so that you don't hit Trey when he's down.
Man, I had lots of shares of Trey Lance in fantasy football, and I had to end up like just jumping on Deshaun Watson because that's all there was left. Like, okay, hopefully I'm still in the playoffs by this point. But hopefully you guys are doing all right with Purdy. And I mean, how hard is it to be the 49ers quarterback? You just give the ball to CMC. Now all you have to do is give the ball to CMC. Before it was just give the ball to Debo.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is a critical.
Did I do enough? Did I do enough for you, EJ?
You did. You did a lovely job. Thank you for filibustering for me. Yeah, so this is critical. This is a critical junction here because I have to make 2 selections, and then I'm gonna get ultimately going to roll the dice on the at-large, right? You just kind of, I think all of us are thinking about rolling that dice, hoping that there are so many selections that, you hope, although, like I said, we're all friends and like-minded, so
I have 7 at-large teams still on my board, so I think I'll be okay.
So it's like, okay, which of my 5th best choices am I okay with? And there's a couple conferences that I wouldn't be okay with it. So I'm going to start off. So this is my classic one, I would say. So my first 2 weren't necessarily classic football jerseys. One could argue that this isn't necessarily a blue blood program, but I feel like it's a classic color combo, and it was my top choice in the Pac-12. It's the UCLA Bruins. So there's just something about that blue and that gold, and it just works. It's lovely watching those 2 teams play each other because it's just an amazing show of color every time they play each other, USC and UCLA. But they were top on my Pac-12 because of the white jerseys. They work better with their helmet and pants than I thought the USC ones did. Like, I don't know, there's something just about the red helmet and the white jersey that just looks odd to me, and it just might be my choice, right? Like, clearly they're beautiful. But again, it's one of those classic jerseys. They don't have alternates. They don't need them. They're just they're just those classic Bruin jerseys. So
that was my second choice in the Pac-12. Great pick. I mean, you said it. Classic. It's great. Yeah.
I would, if I drafted a little bit smarter there, I could have waited on Ohio State, now knowing that I know that you hate them and they weren't on your list, but I was like, type me in for UCLA on my next pick. So I could have probably flipped that. So that was good. No, I like it. I like I actually like the blue a little bit more, but I do think
Same.
the white is pretty clean. But you know, if you're talking classics, and they do a good job from I found you know, their jersey schedule, but they do a good job of kind of mixing sometimes between the you know, the pants and but gold pants, white looks good too. Yeah, I'm looking at that, but I do like UCLA. That's good.
Yeah, sorry. I meant that I had them over USC because I like how their whites look better than USC's. For the record, I like
okay.
their blues better than their whites, but they
Mhm.
were higher than USC
because of how the white look.
Yes. Sorry to clarify that.
Gotcha. No, it's yeah. I thought about leaving USC on the board and taking Ohio State because I'm like, well, I have UCLA in my back pocket, but apparently I would not have. So I feel good about that.
Yeah, USC would have been my pick too. So we would have been likely, the three of us would have likely had some sort of jumble, although Ohio State would not have been with me. Okay, so my next pick here. I know the conference. I'm between a couple schools. So all right, I'm gonna stick with my board, although it's gonna break my heart a bit. My next pick here is in the Big Ten, and it is not my Spartans, although I hope someone chooses them. And
you son of a bitch! Oh, great pick.
But
I thought I could wait on them.
Gophers, Sky-Yuma. I mean, if you just look, this just tells you all you need to know. I mean, the maroon and the gold together are beautiful. The Gophers have a great combination, as you can see, of alternate jerseys. With the block M is an acceptable block M in my eyes. It also has that nice little Goldie the Gopher helmets as well. I don't know, maybe I had my high school colors were maroon and gold, and that's just a classic color combo.
If anything, I was actually thinking, I'm like, man, if I take Minnesota I was thinking when I take Minnesota next, I'm gonna have too much crimson gold, maroon and gold, all that stuff. Great pick. And also the oar, it says row on the front of their helmet, it says row for row the boat, and then it's an oar, the stripe down the middle is an oar. Yeah, I mean, and they have the all blacks. They have the all blacks this year too. That is such a good pick, man. I'm like kicking myself right now. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Gophers, baby. Gophers. Yeah, I didn't know that about the extra add-on to the jersey. Mike, I think that's cool. Yeah, it's I think you did the best what you could of that situation, because not you, EJ, but as in Minnesota, because Minnesota overall to me is just kind of boring in general. So to add some flair though, and I like the oar and a little bit of history behind that, especially I was at trivia this weekend and they asked about the Paul Horning, excuse me, what's the Wisconsin Minnesota, what do they play for? The Battle of Paul
Bunyan's Axe.
Yeah, there you go. Bunyan's Axe. There you go. So, you know, that you had, you know, your little, you know, history with your old schoolness there. But yeah, I like it.
Sorry, by the way, I'm looking at Chris's list now a little closely, and I am appalled by some of these. Sorry, Chris, but some of these he has ranked in some of these conferences are such a Chris thing. Okay, sorry.
Such a Chris thing.
I mean, he's a Flyers fan, so
that is true.
He's a Flyers fan and a UM fan. Let's just consider his personal choices, and Dolphins too. I mean, there's a lot of gaudiness in there.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, Jimmy, what do we got here? What's your turn?
All right, so I'm getting to the point where I kind of have almost free reign, because a lot of the ACC's taken up, a lot of the Big 12's taken up, and a lot of the Pac-12 is taken up. So I'm only fighting with like 1 or 2 people. So for this one, I am going to kind of piggyback off of you, EJ. I thought that the Big 12 does have some good sleepers. And I did really like, besides OSU, I did have Kansas Jayhawks, Rock Chalk Jayhawk, as one of the sleeping jerseys in the Big 12. I love the size of the Jayhawk on the helmet, which is one of the first things that comes to mind. They have a baby blue alternate to continue the tradition of people picking baby blue. Another classic type uniform. Now this is like classic where, you know, they haven't had the history we're talking about, but to me, the color combinations with I was looking at they got the all reds, but they also have the blue with the red pants. They have all whites. Thank you. That's a perfect illustration right there. You can go a lot of ways with this uniform. To me, the draw is the helmets. I really like the helmet with the logo, but I also like, you know, now this is the part where, you know, I'm adding another section of variety, and, you know, here's the variety right here, and you can get, they can get away with so many different combos there. So do you have anything else you want to add about them?
This is just one of the ones where I absolutely loathe Bill Self and Kansas basketball, and I was not expecting to love their jerseys. As you saw, like I had 3 up here: Texas, TCU, and Kansas, and that was, these guys were going to be one of my sleepers if I held out long enough. I mean, the red, white, and blue are beautiful. The logo is big and beautiful. It's a fantastic pick, and I'm glad their football team has had a relevant year this year. It kind of makes it even a little better, and maybe they'll even bring some other solid alternates in the future as their program gets better.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like the royal blue is really nice. Using the logo on the side of the helmet's awesome. The whites are just super clean though. So
Clean.
yeah, really clean, really clean. That's a great pick. Great value late for the Big 12.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hmm.
Okay. Where are we at? So it's Mikey.
Oh,
Mikey.
This is tough. You really, EJ, you really threw a curveball at me. Whenever you picked Minnesota, because I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna get Minnesota. Like I had it penciled in already. Now the question is, gosh, I mean, do I go? See, I was thinking about scrambling to go for someone in the Big Ten, but there are, like, just where we're at with the Big Ten right now, there's only 2 choices left, kind of between 3 in the Big Ten right now. Like I had Minnesota and Ohio State so far above the other teams. So I'm gonna go the SEC. And you might think that I would take my Crimson Tide, again, something like very classic. But I'm going to go in a bit of a different direction. I think that this is a great color scheme when you pull it off right. The Lakers do it well, and the LSU Tigers, the purple and gold, awesome. Love the helmet with the tiger with the LSU on it. You know, all of their color combinations look really good. The whites, for me, might be my favorite. I do like the purples a lot, but the whites I think are fantastic. You know, it's just a really strong color combination. And I think it looks super, super sick. So yeah, give me the LSU Tigers. Sorry, Bama, but
I like when you talk about when they go with the all whites. The thing I love about LSU is I think they are, and I've been around high school football a lot, and I feel like their helmet brand has kind of been something that's rubbed off lately. The small, 3-letter LSU then with their logo has been copied a lot. I think that's a classic helmet.
Yeah.
And when they wear the all whites, when they wear the all white helmet too, I like that they have, that option as well. And I think that looks real clean.
Don't they wear their whites at home sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that just tells you all you need to know about that. Like when you're
Yeah.
choosing your white jerseys, it's similar like the Cowboys, right? Their blues are disgusting, and but they wear their white jerseys, 12 out of 18 games or 17 games. So yeah, I mean, LSU, even though it's purple, they do it well by not like overemphasizing it all the time, right? Like, it's just classic. Boyle, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so the last couple of picks have been frankly researching my next pick. So, I'm researching when I'm not saying anything. The Bayou Bengals I had pretty high on my list, but before I had picking Ole Miss, I would have considered them later. I think it was a great value pick from Mike. The purple and gold, they're not in New Orleans, but Louisiana, you think New Orleans anyway, even though Baton Rouge is the total opposite side of the state. It's just a New Orleans-y kind of like Mardi Gras flavor. The Go Tigers spelled in the French Go way. It's all brand. It's all on brand for me, and I think they do it really well.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you, everyone. I feel a lot better about that pick now, having had this discussion, because I'm kind of like, I'll tell you guys later, but okay.
All right, so for Chris's next pick, we're pretty solidly in the middle of his big board here. This conference he doesn't like at all according to his rankings, but it's the next pick. So in the Pac-12, he's not a fan. He is going to go with the Arizona State Sun Devils.
I mean, that's kind of a sleeper.
That was my third behind. I mean, Oregon, I knew I wasn't really going to have a shot at, but Arizona State was right there with me here, and I have it pulled up behind UCLA and USC. It's just, again, something about that like red, maroon, and yellow is just classic. And these guys, I feel like, had done a pretty good job over the years of adding a lot of mixes and alternate logos and alternate jerseys. As you can see, you have some whites, some yellows, some blacks here.
We can't see it. We can't see it, pal.
Oh,
we're still seeing the draft board.
Oh, because I only shared
You only share that screen.
Oh, let me share this, fellas.
Oh, yeah.
So here's the classic. So you have your white jerseys, your yellow, your helmets here. You have your maroons. It's just, it's beautiful. They have these, let's see, ambitious yellows, and then small black uniforms.
Blacks,
so you have the pitchfork logo, the Sun Devil. It's just, it's unique and it's great.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick for him this late in the draft. Yeah.
I just got some I like some of them, but I do think they throw out like one or two pretty ugly combinations. But like
they mean like these
that like when I saw that, I was like, I don't know if I can touch that. Like it's too mustardy. I don't know what it is. But yeah. They've been a team that I feel like has definitely switched around like their jerseys, and that one right there.
Kicker,
that one. Not. Would you like that one?
No, that was another one that's questionable. Yeah, exactly. Like just wear the reds or wear the blacks. Yeah. No, I think
they
thinking about. Yeah,
they play around too much, and I think they get too cute sometimes. So that's the only thing that I had with them.
I was thinking about having them as a fallback for USC and UCLA, but like I was like, I just like some things they do really, like the Sun Devil script is awesome. The pitchfork is awesome. As the late Mike Leach said, you have to always consider the magical powers of the Sun Devil and contending with that, like what kind of powers do they possess? But yeah, I mean, it's when it goes right, it goes right. But when it goes wrong, buddy, it goes real wrong. So
right, like these ones look pretty good. Like you said, when it goes right, it goes right.
Yeah,
look at these bad boys. Okay.
All right,
Devils, Doyle. Feeling good? No?
So we've reached two conferences for me that I there's just not a lot of bad picks in. It's the ACC and the Big Ten for me. And so my ACC pick, there obviously Penn State's still out there, and that is just traditional. You really can't go wrong with that. But I have a couple that are slightly ahead of Penn State, and one is super, super controversial that not everyone's gonna love. And I'm thinking about not going for it, but I think I'm gonna do it.
I'm intrigued. There isn't an O
yeah.
team in the Big Ten, so
I know I'm getting off of the O bandwagon.
So
here.
wait, so you're not picking Penn State because you want to stay away from you think that something's more controversial than Penn State is what you're saying to me right now.
I think Penn State is one of those traditional.
That was a Sandusky joke.
White,
that was a Sandusky.
White. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Go ahead, please. Fire away.
Okay.
If you say Maryland and their stupid flag, I am gonna quit.
So we're moving on to the ACC.
The Maryland flag.
I love
love
the Maryland flag.
Pick it, Ben. Pick it.
Red, yellow, and black in that crazy checkerboard.
Boo!
I don't even know how to describe it. It's just it's so unique. It's so Maryland.
Good for you.
I love it.
Good for you.
They have that on the helmet. They have it on the helmet. They have it on the shoulder sleeves in a bunch of their jerseys. Then they have that nice throwback with the script Terps on the helmet. And the red, yellow, and black stripes on the shoulders. I think it looks great. Like I said, it's a controversial pick. Not everyone loves it, but that's just me. That's what we're going with. I don't know if you've noticed, I don't have a lot of traditional jerseys on the board.
Man, if we have any Maryland listeners, you just won them over because that is
I'm gonna stick up for you, Nick. Okay, what other college football team embraces their state flag like that?
What other state embraces their state flag like Maryland? And
they're psychopaths.
And it stinks.
Colorado and California, right? Those are probably the only two.
Yeah, but not like Marylanders.
No.
Not like Marylanders.
No, Maryland has a love affair with their flag. I was a Marylander for 4 or 5 years, so I kind of fell in love with it. It's on our driver's licenses. It's the best driver's license.
Yeah, dude, I lived in Maryland too. No.
Look.
No. So I couldn't wait. I'm so happy to be out of that state. Oh, because it was everywhere.
It was everywhere. Oh man, no,
I love that you did that.
You got the checkerboard. You got that weird like cross thing where it's red and white, kind of inverted. It's just great. I don't know what's wrong with that flag. It's awesome.
All right, on to the ACC.
On to the ACC. Like I said, I had a lot of picks here. Mike kind of surprised me by not taking his Pitt Panthers. They were up on my board.
Yep. They're strong.
They used to have a little bit more unique kind of blue. I think they went a little darker this year with that. I didn't so much like that. Like I said, ACC, lots of good jerseys. One that stands out for me, and it's all down to the logo. It's not all down to the logo, but the logo is like top 5 logo. It's the Wolfpack NC State. I love the logo, love the Wolfpack. If you look at their jerseys this week, they had a pretty sick black one with these weird like chevron pinstripes kind of going in the middle of the chest. They've got that red. The red is their go-to jersey, and that looks great. But for me, it's the helmet. The size of the logo, of course, for me is like Jimmy said with one of his last picks, with KU. That's a big Wolfpack logo, and it's awesome. So I like the Wolfpack a lot.
So I like their logo. like, and I considered them as backup to Florida State, but like the jerseys themselves just didn't really do it for me. I was like, like they were just okay. Like they seem kind of like the logo is awesome and the logo on the helmet is awesome, but like honestly, everything else about it didn't really do it for me. So I think there's other teams out there that do red and black better. I won't say them in case someone wants to pick them, though I don't know if they're still on the board.
Yes,
but
one of those teams was also on my list.
Oh,
if we're thinking of the same team. Yeah.
So I'm gonna
but I just like, yeah.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna have to
me.
disagree with you because this was my second team in the ACC. I love these jerseys. I love the logo. I think the red and the black with the design like around the collar and stuff, I think just works. And I think they do a lot of good combos with like the black and the black, the black and the yellow, the black and the red. Like I think even though they just use those three colors, they do a great job of mixing through them. But yeah, no, I thought of them pretty highly.
Yeah, I'm back and forth on this because I obviously have some stock into a red and black and white team in that same conference. But I do think that they finally got it right with the helmet decal. I do think it's unique. I think it's cool because if you scroll down, how long ago did they start using EJ? If you scroll down a little bit, so it has been used for a few years now. But I think before they were,
but this one looks smaller. Like I don't think was quite So it's
see, that's the
2017.
one. Yeah, I didn't like that. But I do like that they've kind of stuck with, wow, look at that helmet. That they stuck with this. And clearly they've gotten, better with it. But I do agree, like similar to my Kansas pick that you're talking about, the logo that pops. I like that on the helmet.
And you think about the mascot. Wasn't NC State who had the tongue of the mascot ripped out? I'm trying to think if that was a football game or not. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember this.
No, I don't remember it either.
I mean,
oh no, this is hockey. This was the Calgary Flames mascot. I don't know what.
Oh my god! Oh, the horse. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's only Chris has to pick the Big 12. Texas Tech, I think, does red and black better than NC State, but that's
well, let's not bury the lead because with Chris's next pick,
he taking Texas Tech?
Texas Tech's Red Raiders. So another red and black school.
It's a good uniform. If I didn't get Texas, I might. Well, I was going Texas, TCU, Texas Tech.
I don't know. I definitely looked at the Red Raiders ones. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but for some reason I liked the designs, like the little design better on the NC State as far as the red and black.
TT. It's the TT for me that does it. Okay. Like their logo, I think, is very strong. But
and I think just overall for me, I don't know that red and black is my favorite combo. Sorry, Jimmy. It's not a bad one, but it's definitely not like my favorite.
Just the way you can play, man.
All right,
Mike, it's coming down here, guys.
I don't need to pick the Big Ten because everyone else has picked the Big Ten. So I guess I'll go at large. I have my number one at large pick. I'm not going to take because just looking at my other picks, I don't want to take that one. I'll explain why later. I have another pick that I really like that I'm not going to take because I feel like it might be a little more controversial. I'm thinking of one, like maybe I just like it and no one else does. But I'm going to take one that I think is a lot more generally acceptable. They're playing good ball right now. Meep. Give me the UTSA Roadrunners. Really, orange and blue. Great combination. I love the Roadrunner logo that they have. on their helmet, and they have a ton of really good uniform combos. Like the primary, the navies, the navy uniforms, I think are super strong. And then the whites are good, the oranges are good. I mean, and yeah, they have this black one too, the Blackbird. So yeah, I'm a big fan of old UTSA and what they're doing. I'll talk about my other two when we get to maybe some honorable mentions and some least favorites. But yeah, I thought that this was a good at large one. And since I don't need to rush on Big Ten, I'll just take that.
So these guys were on my at-large list. I love the color combination.
They got grays too. They got gray uniforms that really pop too. Sorry,
I love the logo. It's just definitely one of the classics for like the group of five and beyond.
I've got to look this up. The gray ones that you're talking about.
I'll send you a link. I actually found a really good link for them.
Oh, I do see it. Yeah, that does look nice. Yeah, it's a good pick. It's one that I like kind of had a theme. I really was saving this for the last pick like you guys are. So I didn't really kind of research all into it, but I like it. I like again, another big decal logo on the helmet. Cool color combination. I think they do it, similar to Syracuse, but I think it's maybe a little bit better. So all right, does that mean me?
That means you.
Jimmy.
All right. Since nobody else has the two that I have, I could go either way. Now, I do kind of agree that the Pac-12 bears creativity. It's low on creativity. It's like sometimes it's more of your classics. I like these guys because I think they have a plethora of combinations. I was between two, but I really don't. I like one team's alternate better, but their regular jerseys aren't too good to me. But for this team, I think they're building history. I like their color combinations. I know you're not a big red and black fan, EJ, but with their decal and everything, I like the Utah Utes.
Give me the Utes. You're going for Utah,
they have like this is the first team too. I think I played with the sleeves a little bit more in their jersey combination. They wear. I found like a Pac-12 site that showed what everybody wore week to week. But they wear like just a plethora of it's red, black. They'll have their white. They on the sleeves sometimes they go with like a different color. Like if they're wearing red, they'll have like some black on their sleeve and some red, like a black and then red stripe on it. I also kind of like the traditional little like kind of just that it just looks old school logo. It's got almost a combination of Chiefs / the team that we shall not name that's playing Sunday Night Football right now. Their old logo, but just classic. I think for it being the last pick in the Pac-12, I'm okay with it. I think I think they add a lot of combinations. It's not your classic, but they're starting to become a team that I think is now like going to take the lead in the Pac-12. So I think it will continue to be a recognizable jersey.
They were on my Pac-12 list, and they would be higher if they would have worn they have a Rose Bowl uniform where it's a rose on the side of their helmet with the U. If they would have worn those this year, like, I would have maybe considered holding off on USC because it could be like, all right, I can get Utah or I can get UCLA, but like, so I think it's a really good pick. A great, when like for me, looking at some of these conferences, it's like, okay, like, there's some that like really stand out, and like there's some that, just not as deep. And I feel like that's like the last Pac-12 one that I'm like, okay, like that's a solid uniform.
Yeah, so Washington Huskies have a pretty good
them too.
But their traditional jerseys to me don't do. It's just like, you're playing W. It's not an intimidating W. So
it's not.
So these guys were my sixth pick in the Pac-12. So the other four that have been picked were on my top five. The one that I like went back and forth with over them was I think finally I think Oregon State finally got their jerseys right. I think the Beavers jersey, like orange and black is classic. They finally got like the stripes and the here and there is right, blowing up their big Beaver logo. But the Ute, like I went back and forth with the Utes, like it was between those two in the Pac-12. All right, so I guess I'm just gonna pick my last two here. So why don't I go with maybe the more boring choice first, I guess. Like, and one for, so I'll go with my SEC school. I'll admit the SEC for me was one that I didn't necessarily like really love any of the jerseys. Tennessee was up there, but this was one of the conferences that I was actually kind of surprised that I really didn't come away like super wowed. But my choice is the Florida Gators. So there's just something about like the simplicity but not of their jerseys. I guess they're just classic, like they don't really mess with them too often. But I don't know, there's just something about this classic blue with the orange and the Gators. I think the whites jerseys look good with this combo right here with the orange helmet, the white jerseys, and the blue pants. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this was one, and this might just go back to my childhood. We went to Florida as a family often, and I used to be, I guess, like a Florida Gators fan. I still actually, until like college, had a sign that said like Florida Gator fans only, like a parking sign. But I think it was just because I went on vacation and it was, something different and new. And then you can't go wrong with that Gator logo, the little chomper. So yeah, I don't know. I like the Gators here.
Yeah, I agree with you in the terms of like I grew up with my older brother like had a hand-me-down hat, and it was just that the Florida Gator itself, and just the Gator I think is kind of like a little historic type in terms of like you see it, what that means. So
yep.
Yeah, I had Florida on my list. I didn't have them very high because I thought there's some better jerseys, but it is just iconic in terms of you see it, you just recognize it immediately. I like the Gator script, blue and orange. I think we're figuring out the blue and orange is a good choice for a jersey. If I was building a school, I would probably make my football jerseys blue and orange. And I like the script Gators. I also like the Gator logo, which is only on the chest. But I mean, it's just classic. And the Gators, it's just synonymous with Florida, so it's perfect marriage.
All right. So with my last pick here, it's my at-large, and I actually spent probably too much time really going through all of these schools. And I kind of did to a certain point. Obviously, some, I just drew to me at the top of my head, like, your SMUs and your UTSAs and, Notre Dame and Coastal, like those were on my list of probably expanded past five just because of how many I really like. And then it just by dumb luck, I kind of got to this conference last, and it just made me remember, like when you think of college football beyond the traditional, right? You have like Oregon kind of changed the game when it came to jerseys. And I think this school also changed the game as far as like really piggybacking on that. And I mean, they go as far as adding, a unique field just to further confuse the away team. But I got to go with Boise State. Their blue and oranges are fantastic. And I think they just look really good. And when I thought about it, it's like, yeah, these guys have been doing great jerseys and great combos for a while. I mean, you have the big horse logo was a great addition. You have these black jerseys, throwback to what they used to be. So they've definitely like made them sleek
They
and
come a long way with that. Yeah,
they have. So these guys were just 100% the way jerseys. This was one of those ones where I was almost ashamed that I forgot about them, because I feel like they were right after Oregon when it came to like kind of changing what a jersey could look like.
But I don't like their jerseys this year. And I apologize for stepping away. I have a child. She has a bunch of gunk in her eyes. So like we have to give her erythromycin. She has clogged tear duct. So we have to give her erythromycin eye ointment, which is a 2-person job for sure. No, their jerseys this year, like I watched them play in their bowl game. I'm like, brother, what are you doing? You had it right. You had it so right. And I think that they just something that they did this year just threw it off for me. Maybe it was just the bowl game. See, hold on. Like this, like what's up with the orange stripe out of nowhere? Like when the black and the blue, it's just what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like we have strayed from God, is basically how I feel about Boise State.
So I like Boise State. They're on my at-large list, and it's not technically part of the uniform, but you see Boise State, you think Boise State, you think the blue field, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. Blue and orange is a great color combination.
Yeah.
They've got their all orange logo or all orange jersey, and they're on that blue field, and they just pop, and it's great to watch.
Or the all blue, and they disappear into it. So
yeah, Mike, I would like to see. I didn't watch that game, so I missed what you're talking about with this year. Traditionally in the past, I don't know if they kept that same decal for their whiteout, but I do really like that. I don't know, is it so they're the Broncos, right?
Yeah.
I like that Bronco. That kind of like it's almost a stencil, which I think is pretty cool when you could pull off more of a stencil type logo on your helmet. But yeah, I mean it's a cool blue. It's like also you were talking about you pit a little bit, and then that they had their, I think Nick said something about their original blue. I like the blue that they have at Boise State. But yeah, Mike, I got to check out what you're talking about with their changes that they did this year, because I think traditionally, yeah, I really like those jerseys.
All right, Jimmy, why don't you give us your last pick?
All right, well, last pick, I'm gonna go a little home cooking and give me the Louisville Cardinals. I had an idea of picking Virginia Tech just because I do like their kind of combo, but they have something in the inside of their numbers that I didn't like as much this year. I really like Pitt's. I like the yellow, blue, yellow pants, but like you said, they did something a little bit with the color. If they kept that traditional Pitt color, I would love that a little bit more. But when you go and look at the Louisville, this is my last pick, is all about combinations. Okay, you've got 6 different helmets that you can wear in one season.
That is nice.
And so you got the one that's a little bit questionable to me is you got that black on black where you can't really see the bird. Yeah. But so that kind of pulls people off a little bit, but I think it's a little unique. I like just the fact that you can have a black, white, or red helmet. You can have your stencils be either red, white, or black. Gosh, I really wish we did this the year they did the Muhammad Ali ones, because I do like the Muhammad Ali alternate jerseys. This year they're going with this like the Ville. It's a gray color combination. They wore a red helmet with it, I believe, as well. And I think it looked pretty good. Okay. It's a little different because you got the pretty small, but Ville in big letters. But I thought it was a cool, like you don't get too many nickname type jerseys as well. So yeah, I like the fact that they did that. Just as an alternate, you can use your nickname. Besides that, big Louisville across. Now, Adidas doesn't really have any big name teams like you were talking about, but they really try to explore with because mostly because of basketball, like we were talking about, but they really try to throw out like anything for Louisville, so you can get like any any particular type of combination on here. I'm a fan of red and black. I know you're not as much, EJ, but you know, they wear a lot of these combos together, the black and red pants. I just like the amount of combos. And you know, I look at that and I think of Lamar Jackson and one of the most dynamic players in college football history. So it's just you know,
He
it's
did
it's
look. Go ahead. Sorry, I mean,
oh no, all I was gonna say is that that's my pick.
It's I mean, I do think of him in the all reds with I think of the script L on the uniform, but I mean on the helmet, but no, I mean I like what you said about the Ville, right? Like doing the nickname on there. Like I think that's pretty dope. Like Golden State does that, you know, with the city on their uniforms and stuff like that. So I think that's sick. So yeah, I mean it's a strong. I'm glad you picked it. I'm glad that you kept with your roots and you went for it. So
well, and it's 4 jerseys, and you got white, black, red, and gray. So like, I mean, you got anything that you possibly get out of it. So
yeah, no, I really like the combinations as well. They made my top 5 for the ACC.
They made your top 5. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, just not a super big fan of red, black, and white as a whole, but I think they do a good job with it. Like, I don't think there's any problems there.
I alluded to this during my ACC pick. This was Louisville and NC State were the 2 jerseys I was coming back and forth with. And I think either is a great choice. I like the bird, the feather kind of look on the shoulder pads. That looks nice. It's a nice touch with the logo. I like the versatility with the helmets. I like the versatility with the helmet logos. I think in the past they had that like fully reflective on the red helmet with the big bird. That was an awesome helmet. But yeah, I think Louisville's got some great jerseys. Even though Lamar Jackson went there, and I'm not so much a big fan of him, but
can we just also agree that this Cardinal is a million times better than the Arizona Cardinal? Their Cardinal is terrible.
Yes.
Way.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Way better. This one's mean.
Yeah. Running its teeth. I mean, it will take out that other Cardinal. I like what you said about the shoulder pads too. That's something that I kind of washed over, but yeah, it's cool, the little addition that they added to that too.
Wait, is that not the same? I guess it's not the same logo as the Arizona Cardinals. It's a little meaner. You're right.
Yeah.
I never noticed the difference.
Yeah, it's subtly different. I mean, yeah, obviously it is scowling, but like it's just head shape is a little different, and it just looks a little better, in my opinion.
Maybe like old school St. Louis Cardinals. I feel like that's been on a professional jersey before.
I don't think so.
Maybe I'm wrong.
All right, Mike. What's your last pick here? Bring us home here. Big Ten.
I've spent a lot of time as we were talking about these last couple of picks, just looking back and forth because there's just one I can't like go away from. And I was thinking, I'm like, man, maybe I'll go with Purdue and the railroad tracks because like that's something a little different or your Spartans, but like ultimately I don't like the font for the numbers. Like something about that just bothers me. I'm looking at my board and I'm like, man, everything's just tradition. So what's more traditional than Penn State, clean. And when you think about Penn State whiteout, whiteout uniforms, like that's as traditional as it gets. It's a classic for a reason. It's why the whiteout's one of the best known games. Anytime they do it, it's a big deal in college football. So yeah, give me the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, they were my my second Big Ten school behind Minnesota, just for those reasons. It's classic. It's not overly exciting, but they just the white and the blues are just great combo, and the helmet is also a good simple helmet.
It'd be better if they like somehow integrated the Pennsylvania flag into their uniforms, like that really would.
Look, I think they're great. Like I said before, they could use a little more state flag.
That should be on a shirt. They need a little bit more state flag.
Yeah. And then, but the shirt is just the print of the Maryland flag. the shirt says your state could use a little more state flag, and then just it's the checkerboard cross bullshit.
Look, you guys are just haters on the Maryland state flag. I don't.
We
get
are, yeah. Admit it's hand up, I am.
Okay, Chris, his last pick. Can't say that this team was not on my board, but I feel like they're probably on other people's.
The SEC, it's in the SEC. Let's see if we can guess. Let's say he took Arkansas.
Georgia.
Yeah, I was thinking Georgia.
Guys, anchors up. No, I'm just kidding. He did not pick
that. I was gonna say.
No, he picked the Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, they're one of those classic jerseys as well. Yeah. Again, maybe it's because I don't really like red and black, but this is probably one of my least favorite red, black, and whites combinations. It's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But it's for being basic. I feel like to me, with that color combo, I need more than just basic, and that's that's it for me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just like, again, the G isn't too exciting on the helmet. I get the history behind it, but it's literally like a black G with a red circle around it.
I like that they did some stuff on the collar to make it look like a dog chain.
The collar, yeah, it looks good on it this year. I did like that too.
But overall, not a it doesn't blow my socks off. So
all right, Doyle, bring us home.
So I was hoping my at-large list would get whittled down a little bit, but I mean, it's such a large category that really you go any number of ways. I wasn't thinking of any of the schools that anyone else said except for Boise State and Notre Dame. So I thought a little bit about Maryland's other college football team, Navy. They had the Spaceman helmet for the Army Navy game, which was
they did. Do you know why?
I don't actually know why.
Because the Naval Academy has graduated the highest number of astronauts of any other school.
Weird flex, but cool.
So that is why they chose the NASA's.
Yeah, but it's not like NASA's like tearing up the front pages of papers right now.
Hey, listen, if they have to have these unique like jerseys every year, I feel like there's only so many times they can do like, the tank version, because let's do the aircraft carrier.
Oh, hey, no, Army's tank uniforms in Army Navy game were sick. They were
but now they can't use them again. Like that's what my point is. Like they have to
bring them back.
That
should be their full-time uniforms, in my opinion. But
so I also thought about SMU with the Dallas logo or the Dallas jersey.
The Dallas jersey classic. Yep.
Yes.
So that was on my list.
Same.
I really, another team I had on my list that I really, really wanted to like just because they're different, but their jerseys this year were kind of boring, was Hawaii, the Rainbow Warriors.
Oh, the Rainbow Warriors is good. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they had jerseys in the past that embraced the Rainbow Warrior aspect of Rainbow Warriors, but not this. It didn't seem like they did this year. It was more black and green. They really kind of steered into the Islander Warrior kind of thing. With I'm not really sure what you'd call that, but the very pointy kind of logo and aspects. So that whittled it down for me, I guess. By that, I'm gonna go with the Aztecs, San Diego State.
That's a good one. That was on my list too.
Yeah. It's another red and black jersey. I don't expect EJ to like it. I'm sure he's lining up some, I just don't like red and black jerseys. This is red and black jersey for sure. But they have really cool Aztec, Mexican, Mayan kind of. I'm sure I've butchered
Aztecs.
All of those.
Aztecs are Aztecs. Yeah. Mayans are completely different. Yeah.
on a
Look,
different
I'm gonna get canceled. I'm gonna get canceled. It's not a different continent, right? Mayans on the Yucatan Peninsula.
Aztecs and Mayans are both
same.
in the same area, but they're different cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get canceled. So
No, it's
anywho,
we'll bail you out. Or do you want to keep talking about it?
okay.
Because I love those jerseys, so you can keep talking about it if you want. but
Okay,
it's,
I'll just say they've got that Aztec aspect on the helmet. They've got it on
Yeah.
the shoulder pads. It's very
Yeah.
intricate and detailed. It just looks great. It pops really well on the black background of the helmet, black jersey. I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, agreed. Strong
see.
pick.
I
Strong
don't
pick.
know that I had. I think I got rid of those because they were. I had them up. They were. I was looking at them at one point for my at large as well. No, I think I got rid of that.
So I'll just say since we're done and we're done with the at larges too, like San Diego State was on and they were on my list. I was trying to whittle down. I did have SMU and Dallas on there. The one that I like, but I thought not everyone might like was Wyoming.
Oh, I like that.
Brown
I
and
was thinking
yellow.
about
That was on my
Wyoming.
list.
Yeah.
Unusual and the script too, like the script of Wyoming, and then the font that they use for their color for their numbers is unique as well. It's very westerny, and then the cowboy on the helmet is dope. I'm glad you guys appreciate that. I was just nervous. Maybe I should have pulled the trigger and taken the risk, but
No, I thought about it. As a Bills fan, you see a lot of folks jerseys out in the stands just because of
Josh.
God, Josh Allen. And those, I like it too. The number with the cowboy E number.
Yeah.
I think they have a couple different helmets. They've got the one with the cowboy in the back. I think they have something else. But I didn't research it too much. I just kind of moved on. But I would not have poo-pooed Wyoming as an at-large pick.
All
sure.
right. Well, the other one, I am very glad you guys appreciate it. Now I'm thinking I should have done it, but the one that I did not take that I was going to take, it was the one I was going to go for, but I audibled because I picked LSU. I was going to go East Carolina, the Pirates. And they actually did a throwback one this year from like the 80s with like a big Pirates across the chest. That's sick. But like in general, they got a cool logo and I love purple and gold. I didn't want to do ECU and LSU double. I thought that it would be a little too much. So yeah, but I really like East Carolina.
ECU is also on the list of schools I considered. I liked it too. I like the Pirates. I love Pirates. I don't know what to say. I just like Pirates. You put a pirate on anything, I'm gonna like it. Their logos that like traditional swashbuckling pirate kind of look, and then you pair that with the juxtaposition with purple and gold, which I think it's a great look. I think that would have been a great pick also.
Yeah, I think the other ones that I loved at large, I loved Louisiana Tech. I really liked how they had their red, white, and blue combos with the white helmets. Looked really nice for me. Let's see here. Yeah, like, and then they added this baby blues. Like these guys, these guys were strong for me. Right behind Boise. I liked Western Kentucky because they added their
the
little guy, the little soft guy out there.
Yeah.
And then App State, I think they really sharpened their black and yellows, and not super big fan.
It's
of
a good
anything
A.
all yellow.
You don't see too many A's as a logo. It's a really strong A.
That's a good point.
So those are the other ones that kind of drew my attention.
I shouldn't say you don't see too many. You see like one type of A. It's the Alabama, the Braves, like that type of A's, which the A's, it's all the same.
I was gonna say real quick, Nick, I was kind of following you. I was really set on making my pick a military based team, and I was really between Navy, and I really like Air Forces as well. I think Air Force has a good jersey. I just like, Navy tradition. This year was the NASA thing, but every year you're gonna get something different with it. So I think that's a pretty cool element.
I like.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna transition us to something else, so you can finish your thought.
well, if you're gonna do that, yeah, I like Navy a lot. I like Air Forces too. With Navy, I didn't think with Navy, it is a traditional. It's a good-looking jersey. That dark blue with the yellow, the 6 yellow hoops over the shoulder for the 6 fleets. Yeah, it's all, those are all nice touches. It's a very nautical theme too, so it's kind of right down the center line for their brand. I just wish the helmet wasn't so. I wish we were Notre Dame. I'm sure, like I just wish it was a little different. Just because I feel like it's it's not even like the Notre Dame gold. It's like a little duller, but it's still just a yellow helmet. And then the national helmet this year, I want to like it. It just feels a little like clip art. They put the clip art space guy on the helmet and sent it off to the printer. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I never really liked Army's jerseys, although this year's they're okay for the Army Navy game. Yeah, I wanted to be on the military track too. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I think San Diego State's a little bit better.
All right, so why don't we wrap this up with which conferences did you guys like the most, or conversely, which ones were you kind of surprised that you didn't really love the jerseys? I'll start quickly here. I was surprised that I really liked the Big 12, and I think we've already kind of talked through this. Is when I went through there, I would have been completely fine with any of my 5. I loved TCU enough to make that pick early, but I would have been just as happy with West Virginia at my 5. I thought that one was really great. Conversely, I was so underwhelmed with the Big Ten, and I get all these jerseys are very classic, but I mean, Iowa, Wisconsin, Nebraska, I get they're iconic, but a lot of these ones I was really surprised just really didn't do it for me. The only ones that really popped to me was Minnesota. So that's why I kind of tried to jump on it when I could, but I was really surprised. I don't know. The Big Ten for me just was, I get it. Like I said, they're classic and they just seem boring to me. And I guess I've never really noticed it before.
Yeah, I agree. I was surprised by the Big 12 that I liked them so much. I thought I wasn't that was the one that surprised me that there was somebody I liked. I thought the ACC was super thin. Like that's why I want Florida State so bad. Like I do like Pitt. Like that would be a good fallback, but I really want Florida State. But what shocked me is like the Big 10 and the SEC. I was just like, and maybe like with the Big 10, I like they're all traditional, like they're decent, but that's why I had trouble picking the end. I'm like, well, I could even go to Nebraska, which is classic, but and then the SEC, it was just there was no one that really stood out head and shoulders above anyone else for me. So that was kind of my thought.
Yeah, I'm a little bit opposite with you with that because I mean, some of these SEC on here, I don't know. We may, I don't know. You just may watch it all the time. It may not stand out to you as much, but some of the 3 SEC schools that were picked on from our draft, or some of the 3 that are like my favorite. And I enjoyed that. I like the SEC schools a lot. I think, it just brings the idea of football to me. But Big 12, not to ride your all's idea, but I think it's just it's always been made to be kind of like fun freak football, offense, no defense. And I think they carry that out with their jerseys, and I think they really, they go out to just try to be top of the line, a lot of uniform combinations, a lot of chrome, a lot of matte. But yeah, I'm kind of with you with the Big 12. The Big 10, that I thought the Big 10 was a little shallow. Once you got past the first couple, as well as the ACC, I think that there's only a few up there that compete with the best of the best. But in the at-large is fun, man. At-large conference was really fun. I had a lot of fun looking at all of those. Obviously, it's unlimited what you could find on that. So, yeah.
I want to hit on something you said too, Jimmy. Matte, like people that use matte helmets. Like that's underrated. I wish more people would do it. I think it looks
I love it.
Virginia Tech does a good matte helmet. That's sick.
Go green.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Doyle, what about you?
So I think I touched on this before. The Pac-12 is where jerseys go to die. It's Oregon and everyone else. It's boring. It's like it's like the Pacific Northwest if it were a jersey. It's gray and dull and raining.
I agree. I forgot to say that. I agree 100% with you. That's tough.
Yeah, I disagree with you guys on the ACC and the Big Ten. There are a lot of traditionally great jerseys in the Big Ten. I, of course, didn't go with any of them and went with Maryland. But I think, Minnesota, Ohio State, Michigan, Sparty is a decent jersey. Illinois is a decent jersey. Northwestern's on my list. That I like the purple. I like that they reclaimed the Northwestern stripe. I like the throwback jerseys they had, not throwback, the alternate jerseys they had a couple of years ago. No, that's not a consideration for this year, but they had the cool white and purple checkered jersey. They had that gray jersey with the white and purple checker kind of going across the chest. And the ACC, I would have been happy with any of the teams that got picked here. I also had Pitt, Clemson, Syracuse, and what was the other school I was thinking of? Virginia were all the schools that I was thinking of for jerseys. I think, and Syracuse too. Syracuse is another blue and orange school. So I think there's depth there, but I do also like the Big 12. Really, it's just the Pac-12, and I'm not so much a fan of the SEC either. But really the Pac-12. I can't say enough bad about the Pac-12.
Cannot say enough bad things about the Pac-12.
All right. Anyone got any parting thoughts?
Well,
No,
Nick,
man.
just one quick thing I had to say was the only thing about Clemson is that purple jersey.
Yes.
Purple. You like that? That's
Oh,
probably
I love
my
it.
least favorite jersey.
I wish they'd bring it
it's
back.
Disgusting.
I wish they'd bring it back.
I hate Clemson's colors. Like they just do the orange and the purple terribly. I don't know. Then maybe it's because they put purple instead of blue, and it should just be blue.
I like the purple jersey with the orange paw print. I think it's a good look. I think it's classic. I think it's SEC.
Me,
say. Football. Sorry.
Any other jerseys that we really hate? That least favorite?
Boston College, I hate. I'm just looking at the list here. So I hate Boston College. Duke doesn't do much for me, but I don't hate that.
Kentucky's is awful.
Kentucky's is bad. Yeah,
ugly.
Kentucky's is bad.
That's the difference between like Tennessee and Kentucky is it's okay to have the checkered board as your thing. I'm glad Tennessee keeps it off their jersey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It does not
Baylor,
look good.
Baylor does some things I'm not crazy about.
No, their green and yellow looks weird.
Yeah. Oklahoma stinks.
Yep.
I like Mizzou. Mizzou fucked up black and gold. How? Also, I hate Auburn too. Mississippi State. Actually, Mississippi State's okay. I don't want to talk bad about Mike Leach.
They're boring.
Yeah, they are boring.
A&M's are boring. Like they.
Yeah. Maryland. I mean, I can't. Oh, Indiana. When they do the candy cane type thing.
Yeah.
Anytime they try to fit that in, it's just like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, their stripes work for basketball. It just doesn't work for football.
Like,
obviously, it's iconic there. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely hated Clemson's. I think that's probably only the one. Oklahoma's alternate like really angered me, and their whites are terrible. Those ones are probably the only ones that I like actually made me feel disgusted. But but there's other like ones that are just boring or bad, but those ones really just irked me.
Yeah, I think Wake Forest could do better with. I mean, they're just kind of boring.
Yes,
but those are good colors. Like you could do something really good with it.
Yeah, agreed. Because when I was looking through the ACC, I was like, oh gosh, like I wanted to include a wake on my list, but no. I did have Vodtak on my list as like my final backup because I think that orange and that maroon is really nice, and the flat black helmet's awesome.
Yeah, no, they were tied for me for that as well.
But I want to thank you boys for doing this. EJ knows I have been wanting to do this for several weeks now, so I'm very glad that you guys joined and we were able to get this done. This is a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a blast, man. Thank you guys for joining in. This is a lot of fun, and best of luck to you all in the voting.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, happy holidays, everyone listening. Make sure to check out our Instagram, whiskers.whiskeys. As you are hearing, we're going to have some reels up so you guys can vote on all of our selections. And everyone just have happy holidays, and we will likely have announcements next year, but we might have another bonus episode. There's still football going on, right, guys?
Indeed there is.
Heck yeah, brother.
And I'll be drinking on the next one.
All right, have a good night, everyone.
Cheers, folks.